Hi everybody, my name's Doug Wilson and this is Yellowhawk Customs Outdoors. I think a lot of you guys are going to like this video. I've got Bob here with me, the Grizz. Okay, anyway, we are doing a run of the Delta Whiskey Infinity in CPM3V now. Okay, now it's going to be a month, 2 months, 3 months, but it will happen. Okay, I've already got a significant number of pre-orders on my sheet. I'm working with LT Wright. He's making me a prototype now. Okay, so if you guys stay tuned, I'm going to give you the whole spiel, tell you what's going on, and then Bob will go over the knife. Yeah, same to you. Grab yourself a cup of coffee, a beer, or whatever, and come back and we'll be ready. Okay, so the Delta Whiskey Infinity, we are going to be doing a run in CPM3V. We did a run, I don't know, what was it, 3 years ago?
It had to be, because it was in 2018 that we were at Dr. Frazier's camp.
Yes.
And you gifted me mine.
Right.
My birthday.
Okay, so about 3 years ago, we did a run of the Delta Whiskey Infinity in 01 tool steel, which is a great steel.
Good stuff.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Right? But I really wanted to do a run in CPM3V super steel. Okay? I'm not going to go through all the properties and all that of CPM3V. You can Google it, look it up in the forums and whatnot. You'll find out it is a badass steel. I love it. And it's not super expensive, although the price has doubled in the last year.
Well, COVID. Everything's doubled.
Okay? So, Delta Whiskey Infinity. I have a pre-order list going right now. Like, right now I got about 25 names on it. The minimum order that I have to put in is 30 knives. I'd like to do more, but I need the pre-orders to do it. Okay? Now, I usually don't talk prices on videos because guys really misconstrue prices, okay? And what it actually takes to make a knife like this. LT Wright told me that this is the most complicated knife, well, not complicated, the most labor-intensive knife he has done to date, okay? Now, he told me that 3 years ago, so I don't know if he's done a more labor-intensive knife, but that's what he said. He said, this is the most labor-intensive knife I've ever done, Doug. He said it's got a lot of great features, and that's what I wanted to build into it. A lot of great features, comfort, strong steel. I'll let Bob go through it, okay? So I got the pre-order list going right now, and if you want to be on the list, for a Delta Whiskey Infinity, I'll tell you right now, the knife will be about $400. And that is absolutely because CPM3V has doubled in price over the last year because of COVID. Okay? This knife was supposed to be $300. Not now. Okay? And the reason it hasn't been done until now is because LT Wright has been so busy over the last year and a half, 2 years, he just couldn't take any orders. I think really he's doing this as a favor to me now. You know what I mean? He's busy, super busy. So that's the way it is. If you want to be on the pre-order list, text me. Text me. Okay? It's my personal phone number. It goes right to my personal phone. You'll have an answer within 10 minutes in most cases. Sometimes it takes a day or two, but very rarely. Okay? That's if I'm doing something. Okay, here's the number. 443-315-6033. 6033. Okay? Text me. If you absolutely cannot text, go ahead and PM me on my Doug Wilson Facebook page. Some guys won't text. They just won't do it.
They have no fingers.
Hey.
Use your toes.
Use
Or
your tongue.
Or your nose.
Okay, so like I said, it's LT Wright Custom Knives who makes this knife. Okay, he does not sell it. All of the knives that he makes for me come to me, and the reason is because they don't come with sheaths. I will build a sheath for every one of these knives according to what you want in the field. So this is where it's really cool. It becomes a custom knife and sheath system, completely dialed in to you. The sheath is extra, okay? I know this is a significant purchase, but this is honestly the best of the best. So, you know what I mean? Quality does cost, and because of COVID, it costs even more now.
Gotta pay to play.
Gotta pay to play. Anyway, honestly, if I could do something about the price, I would, but I can't. You know what I mean? It is what it is. There will be a $250 deposit, and I will ask for that, I don't know, within the next month or so, maybe 2. But like I said, this is going to happen. And if for some reason it doesn't happen, God willing,
and when pigs fly.
Okay.
But it's a good purchase. It'll last you forever. You'll hand it down to your grandchildren, and it's just a well-made knife.
Right.
I'm very impressed with this knife, and I don't impress easy. And as you know from most of my videos and all, I'm a pretty hard critic on a lot of things because.
And honestly,
you know,
honestly, he's a friend. Friends, I think, should be honest with each other.
absolutely, yeah.
He tells me.
Yeah, I do.
I don't like any of your other knives, Doug, but I like this one.
I'll say that, but I will.
Okay.
I did. I
get it.
Yeah.
I get it. I know why he doesn't like them, but
well, that that's not true. But the unique.
Now I'm showing my animosity.
Yeah, you are. Anyway, you didn't have to give me a knife. Anyway, the uniqueness of this knife is what drew me to it. So I'll let Doug continue on. He wants to show you some sheaths.
Okay, so $250 deposit. Within the, there's a little question mark right there as far as when it's actually going to happen. He can't give me a date, but it will happen. And I'm thinking within the next 2 or 3 months, maybe earlier. But at some point, I'm going to ask for a $250 deposit. It could be 2 weeks from now. It could be a month from now. Okay? But I'm going to ask for a $250 deposit. And that kind of solidifies it. Okay? Solidifies the deal. Okay?
He's got to pay too, you know.
Yeah.
The LT Wright doesn't make it for nothing. He's got to pay. He has to purchase them.
This run is extremely expensive. It's going to be extreme, especially if I'm making 30 or 40 knives. You know, getting 30 or 40 knives. So extremely expensive. And like I said, I get all of the knives. They come to me. Okay. All right. The sheaths. Okay. When I receive all the knives, I will contact each person according to where they are on the pre-order list. Okay. I'll contact you. I'll say, okay, Are you ready to tell me what you want for a sheath system on this puppy? Yeah, Doug, I want blah, 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 blah. And that's a good sheath. The blah, blah, blahs, they're good sheaths. All right? So this might be something you would order. Now, this is not a Delta Whiskey Infinity sheath. This is just an example of a piece of one of my works. A work of one of my pieces. Anyway, all right? Something like this.
He's a piece of work.
It's a piece of work. It's got a Phoenix tactical light on it. It's got a face mount ferro rod, a Sunto precision compass. It's got a ceramic on the side. That could be a fine diamond rod sharpener. Could be, right? On the back, we got a combat lock belt clip with the detent buttons. This acts as a redundant locking system right here. These are easier to remove when you're wearing the sheath on your belt. And a removable voodoo dangler. You can remove it, okay? You got to use your imagination a little bit, because the way you see it now, is not.
The wind blew it over.
Is not the way it has to stay. You can modify it, right? You can, you know, modify the clip angle, modify where this sits, right? All that stuff, okay? Now you can take the belt clip off and put a molly lock, center it in there, and the hardware's already in the KYDEX. I mount it into the KYDEX, okay? Because this becomes, the ceramic holder becomes a mount plate on the back, okay? Perfect retention. I'm telling you, you're gonna love it. Absolutely love it. Here's another, well, here's a basic one, okay? If you want several different styles of carry, here you go, all right? Got a voodoo dangler, and it's got tech lock on the back, okay? Now, I recommend the combat lock belt clips. This client here wanted a tech lock, so that's what he gets. Face mount ferro rod on the front. This is our standard compass. They're cheaper, you know, more budget friendly than the Sunto. Okay.
They only point south.
Right, it only points south. You got to be facing south when you use it. So anyway, yeah. Okay. Now, some of you might say, "Oh, is it a good compass, Doug, or is it not?" It's pretty good. I use them, right? Now, there's a lot of copies of these, Chinese copies. I know where to go to get the ones that work. A lot of them, order from China, they come, they don't work. It just...
They're trash.
They're trash, they don't work, right? The north pointing arrow just sits there. These actually work, and I know where to go to get them, right? So, I use these compasses in the field. I don't have any problem with it, okay? But the Sunto is a better compass, precision, okay? And it's a little tougher, okay? Now this is Cryptek Typhon with Cryptek Orange, okay? That's this one. All right, you might want to, oh, Bob stole it. Same thing as the first one, basically, but this one has a live fire on the back. Live fire is like, you know, Vaseline and cotton balls on steroids. I put them on my sheaths because if you're in trouble out there and your knife is the last thing you should lose in the field. You should have your knife with you all the time.
Well, you don't want to lose it.
Don't want to lose it,
yeah.
Right?
It
So,
shouldn't be the last thing you lose. You shouldn't lose it at all.
It kind of makes sense, right, to put stuff on your knife sheath that you definitely need if you get in trouble, all right? So, that's my Murphy's Law, guys, okay? You know, we had a little thing, a thread on Facebook like last week talking about leather sheaths and losing knives inadvertently. I said, what happens if you got to take off running for whatever reason? And you know, I had at least 3 guys say, why would you run in the field? Why would you run in the field? I don't know. You name it.
It's called bullets.
It's called
bullets.
Or whatever.
Or
okay.
mobs.
Okay, so there it is. This is that black basket weave KYDEX. And this here is called, I don't know, I call it green broken glass. Green broken glass. That's what I call it. It's got a name, but this is red swirly pattern.
That's for disco.
Okay, anyway, comfortable, close-up combat draw. I got those combat scallops in there. Perfect fit and retention. Okay, I guarantee it. There's a lot of sheaths out there that just don't work right. They look cool, but they don't work right. Okay, these work right. I spend the time on them. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna let Bob take it away.
All right. As we talked about earlier about critique and being a critic, some people think I'm an asshole, and that's okay.
I know.
Because
I just think he's frank.
I'm a card carrying asshole.
Robert Frank Bieshki.
Blunt. The thing is that this whole bushcrafting genre that exploded within the past, I don't know, 15 years, 20 years or so, has been around longer than they you know.
We were doing it when it wasn't called bushcraft.
Except it's called something different, okay? Anyway, the biggest thing about this whole bushcraft explosion was the knives. I mean, a long time ago, knives were 40C stainless steel. You know, they weren't sharpened well. They were okay. Mostly hunters use them. Sometimes Boy Scouts, you know, whatever. But with the oncoming or the onset of the so-called bushcrafting, Doug's has many designs, and there are a number of other ones that I like about that he's done too. There are the Viper.
I know.
Whatever.
There's other ones you do that.
There are other ones I like also. In 2018, he gifted me this for my birthday because he knew I was too cheap to buy one. But anyway, but I got one. So anyway,
not too cheap, just not in a financial position.
Yeah. So you know the thing about this knife, you know how you look at a car and you just look at the car and it's a cool looking car and you don't care whether it runs, does anything. It's just cool looking, okay?
Right.
Well, one of my first, the first features of this knife was its uniqueness, and I just thought it looked cool, okay? It kind of reminds me of a humpback whale in design here, okay? But it has a classic, it has a classic Scandi grind. It has a rounded blade shape. Now, Doug was talking about flat blades and fat belly. I've always liked fat belly blades too because that's why I like kukris. But anyway,
tell them why.
You get a deeper cut with a belly blade than you do with a straight blade. The purchase is just deeper, and you know, if you have to kill something or save your life, it just causes more trauma.
Skinning
than a straight blade. Also, for skinning, it's a good job. You want a rounded belly. Plus, with the downswept point, you don't have to worry about puncturing the entrails or the peritoneum, okay, when you skin. The other thing is this drop point Tonto type reverse point here is very strong, and it reminds me of the Tops knife, the Rhino. They have a design similar to that, okay. It's a Scandi grind, which, Scandi grinds, they're just the shiznit. They cut. They sharpen quick. So I mean, I'm not enough to say this. As you can see, I have a Mora around my knife, my neck right now. It's a Frost. It's an older one, just great everyday knives, and I'm going to show you in a minute.
Yeah, those Scandi grinds are easy to sharpen. That's why I chose it.
This is a big knife, but it can do the same thing as a Scandi knife, as a small Mora, whatever. Okay, if you choke up on it, all right. And this is just a piece of fat what I was playing around with. Now I'm not a big feather sticker. It's something I'm not, you know. It's not what Bob does. Okay, but if you see the bites here, they're real nice little small curls. Okay, and they bite real well, right? And Doug can show you a little bit more. Now if I take the Mora out, pretty much does the same thing. Okay. Okay. I mean, for a big knife, I think it can function well as a smaller knife. It's actually a medium-sized knife per se. The choke-up choil is ample. Okay, it's ample, but it doesn't hurt the hand. Now on the newer models, this micarta, because some people don't like this hump with their bare fingers.
Oh, hold on. It is rounded here. It's real sharp here, but it is rounded
Well, I'm
here.
not talking about the top.
Okay.
Some people don't like this hump or whatever. I don't know. It never bothered me. But this micarta is going to come up and cover it like a cloak. Okay, to come right up over top on the newer one.
Right.
So when you choke up, for guys with sensitive thumbs, it'll feel better.
It's the webbing. So your webbing.
Well, my webbing doesn't look. See, if you hold it like that,
yeah,
my webbing hardly touches it.
Everybody
but
got different hands.
But if you skin like if you curve like
That's
this,
true.
it has nothing to do with it. Okay.
Absolutely.
So the other thing is that he has a 90-degree spine forward here. You can see the difference in the steel. It becomes a brush type of steel, and that is for your ferro rod. Okay. Now it also has a bow drill divot in the micarta right here. For you guys who can't use matches,
it does not affect the comfort of the handle. So
no.
Why not?
I've seen him do it many times with this knife. It's a bow drill making machine. Okay, mainly because he forgets matches. Anyway, the back end here, there's a nice little pummel here for crashing your nuts. I mean nuts.
Cracking your nuts?
Yeah, for scraping stuff. You know, if you want to draw, yeah, you want to make the little stuff that that you can do with here. You know, make the little dust.
It's more for
little fairy dust.
Smashing nuts and whatever you want.
It's a good defensive back push. You know, if you have to fight with it, whatever. Of course, it's got a nice bird's beak. Everybody goes crazy with this knob on the back so your hand don't fall. It's called a bird's beak. It actually originated with swords or sabers. If you look at a lot of swords or sabers, it's the bird's beak, but it's in the shape of an eagle or whatever. Okay, falcon, vulture, whatever. It's called a bird's beak. Right. The swell of the micarta with I have a OD green liner of mine. Is nice. It just hugs the hand. You know, if you have a big hand, it'll fit you. If you have a small hand, it'll fit you because it's full, but it's narrow this way, where the hand goes in to it. Okay, it has a little bit. If you need to, put your thumb up here. Made by LT Wright, and then you have Doug's logo for Yellow Hawk Custom Outdoors or KYDEX. Okay, the design, the nice sweep here,
reverse tanto tip,
the reverse tanto tip, the nice rounding of the belly, Scandi grind, an ample, choke up choil. All right, here, okay,
and it's all
nice,
it's all contoured. It's all comfortable.
Nice micarta,
no sharp edges.
Bird's beak,
a
pummel, nice striking pummel. This is a good all around take it into the woods type of knife. Okay, with a silky saw and maybe a Swiss Army knife as a complement for smaller tasks, or even a puko. All right, I love the pukos. We'll round this knife out. It's a good all-around knife.
Got it.
His whole idea was as a wilderness everyday carry.
See the knot right there?
Yeah. We're gonna get through it.
We're gonna power through it.
And this is very dry wood. I think it's cedar.
That blade's almost 6 inches. It's about 6 inches,
Yeah,
the whole
it's
blade.
cedar. Yeah, we went right through a knot in here.
Yeah.
It's basically, it's like it's cedar. Yep, right there, whatever. So, you know, you can baton with it. You can build your shelter with it. You can prep your fire with it. You know, it's just a good knife. And as you know, anything Doug does is quality. I mean, his sheaths are quality, and yeah, he a lot of attention to detail. So if you're looking for a good knife, one that you can take out in the woods with you and do almost everything, food prep,
I think this is first.
shelter build, fire start, whatever. It's a very robust and durable companion. Everybody talks about how great this knife is and that knife is, but how often do you really use a knife? How often? You know, if you want a good, heavy, robust, well-round knife, this is a knife you want to take in the woods with you if you're going to go a week, even a weekend. And like I said, it does all the chores you need to do. You see. So.
Did you talk about the 90-degree spine?
I did. Do you have a ferro rod?
Here, Bob. Let me pull one out of my butt. There it
Here, you play with it.
is.
Ah, happy 4th of July!
Get
Yay!
back.
Happy
Get back
4th of
from
July!
This spine is super sharp. You cut yourself on it.
It is sharp.
Right here, it is rounded for that webbing in your hand when you're choking up. Now, it has a choke up choil. I know some guys don't like them, right? For this knife, I thought it warranted one because it actually turns this knife into like a 4-inch blade, 3-inch blade.
Right.
So you can really choke up,
Yeah.
right? Sometimes you need a lot of leverage.
Yeah, I mean, it's not this little stinky thing. It's right there. You just put your hand right in it, and it's comfortable. It feels good in the hand, you know.
My dust.
And yeah, there you go. And for those people who have frog hands with a lot of webbing, the new knife will help you out when it has this over top, so you won't get cut. And you'll be able to jump from your lily pond and go off into the unknown. Okay. Joke. So that's about all I have to say. I like mine. I think Doug's designs are innovative. I don't think you'll see many people copy them. Oh, they try to copy his sheaths, but that ain't happening. There's always a unique distinction with Doug's work. He's like a gnome or a dwarf in the minds of a Goria or something. He never gets out of the cellar. Like he lives
Midgard.
there. Pretty soon he's going to turn into a reptile. Okay, but the guy will sit there, and if he thinks there's a squeak in something, he will sit there and work that squeak out till there's nothing there. That's just the way he is. Okay, and I'm not
spend a lot of time on them.
and that's just not, you know, I'm his friend. Like I said, if you get a you know, attaboy from me, you've done something. I'm an old guy here, but I got a lot of experience, and I know what looks good.
He's not a piece of shit.
I know what works, and you know, and other people have other opinions, and that's fine. That's what the world's made up of until the Democrats totally take us over, and you don't have an opinion.
No politics.
Anyway.
All right, listen. Here. When I'm building these things, I take my time. I get a lot of orders. I get more orders than I can build. Absolutely, right? So I kind of...
He's not going to rush.
I engineer things so that I don't have to rush them. You get what I'm saying?
He's not going to rush, you know? He's just not going to do it.
I take a lot of pride in what I do. A lot.
And if you have a problem with his stuff, I mean, call him up. Hey, can you fix this? And then if you go on his website,
I'm sure it does.
On his Facebook page, you'll see that there are a lot of faithful followers of his sheath. Guys have bought multiple sheaths. I mean, 5 and 6 of them.
And
Seriously.
one guy got 20.
Okay, seriously. So I mean, you know, made in America by an American, a veteran-owned company, and you know, you can't go wrong. Well, here it is. Okay, here it is. So.
All right, guys. This is Doug from Yellowhawk Custom Outdoors and the Grizz.
Hurrah!
See ya.
See ya.